This one truth will change how you see your life forever, because one choice creates your entire path. If you're looking for motivation, wisdom, and life lessons, take the path of purpose.
How do I handle difficult situations? How do I handle difficult situations? That is a question every one of us will face not once, but many times throughout our lives. Because difficulty is not a detour, it is the path. Life guarantees hardship, failure, loss, betrayal, uncertainty, illness, rejection. These are not signs that something has gone wrong. They are signs that we are alive. But how we respond to difficulty, that's where our power lies. That is what separates those who grow from those who give up. So how do we handle difficult situations with strength, wisdom, and grace? To answer that, we must look to the past, the science of resilience, and the raw truth of human experience. Let's begin with history. The greatest achievements in human history were not born in comfort, they were born in crisis. In ancient Greece, the Spartans trained their young from birth to endure hardship. They believed that strength was not the absence of pain, but the ability to act in spite of it. The Stoics philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca taught that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. You have power over your mind, said Marcus Aurelius, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the East, the Buddha began his journey not in a palace, but by confronting the realities of sickness, aging, and death. Buddhism teaches that suffering is universal, but it also teaches that how we relate to suffering determines whether it becomes a teacher or a tyrant. Mindfulness, compassion, and attachment are tools not just for meditation, but for survival in difficult times. In every religious and spiritual tradition, we find stories of people who endured great suffering to discover great purpose. Moses wandered the desert for 40 years. Job lost everything and still did not curse his God. Jesus carried his cross. Muhammad was exiled and persecuted. The Hindu epic Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna standing on a battlefield, overwhelmed by doubt, until Krishna reminds him that courage and clarity come from within. These stories are not distant myths. They are mirrors of the human experience. They remind us that difficulty is not a punishment, it's an invitation, a call to rise. In modern history, think of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison and emerged with forgiveness instead of bitterness. Think of Malala Yousafzai, shot in the head for going to school, who became a global voice for girls' education. Think of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, in which he said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." These individuals were not superhuman. They were not immune to pain. But they made a choice to meet difficulty, not with despair, but with dignity. They teach us that the most powerful question in hard times is not, "Why is this happening?" but, "Who will I become through this?" So what does science say? Psychologists call it resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. But resilience is not just bouncing back, it's growing forward. Research shows that resilient people don't avoid stress, they face it, process it, and find meaning in it. They don't deny reality, they accept it, but refuse to be defeated by it. What makes someone resilient? First, mindset. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that people who believe they can grow through challenges are more likely to persevere and adapt. They see failure not as the end, but as a beginning. They ask, what can I learn from this? Second, purpose. People who have a sense of meaning, whether through faith, family, service, or personal mission, are better able to endure hardship. Purpose gives pain a direction. It transforms suffering into sacrifice. Third, connection. Human beings are not meant to suffer alone. Supportive relationships are one of the most powerful buffers against stress. Whether it's a friend, a therapist, a mentor, or a community, knowing you are not alone changes everything. Fourth, habits. Resilient people cultivate practices that support their mental, emotional, and physical health. Exercise, sleep, meditation, journaling. These are not luxuries. They are lifelines. They create the internal stability we need to face external chaos. Fifth, perspective. The ability to step back, to zoom out, to see the bigger picture. This changes how we experience difficulty. Pain narrows our focus, but perspective expands our options. It reminds us, this too shall pass. So how do we apply all of this when life hits hard? When the diagnosis comes, when the job is lost, when the heart is broken, when the plan falls apart, here's how. 1. Breathe. In moments of crisis, our nervous system goes into fight or flight. We panic. We freeze. But the breath is an anchor. Slow, deep breaths signal safety to the brain. They help us return to the present, to clarity, to calm. 2. Name what's real. Denial only delays healing. Name your emotions. Anger, fear, grief, shame. Let them be felt. Let them move. Suppression is not strength. Honesty is. What we name, we can face. What we face, we can heal. 3. Focus on what you can control. You can't control the storm, but you can control your response, your attitude, your actions, your choices. What everything feels out of control, reclaim your power by focusing on what's in your hands. 4. Ask for help. Strength is not isolation, it is connection. Reach out, speak up. There is no weakness in needing others. There is only courage in admitting you do. 5. Choose your story. We are meaning-making creatures. The story we tell about our pain shapes how we experience it. Are you a victim, or are you a survivor? Is this the end, or the beginning? Reframe your story, not to deny the pain, but to reclaim your power. 6. Keep moving. Even small steps matter. Getting out of bed, making a phone call, taking a walk. Momentum builds strength. Action dissolves fear. Progress. 7. Tiny progress is proof that life continues. 7. Remember, you are not your pain. You are not your failure. You are not your trauma. You are not your losses. You are something deeper, something stronger, something unbreakable. Your pain is part of your story, but it is not your identity. And above all, hold on to hope. Hope is not naive. Hope is defiant. It is the decision to believe in light, even when all you see is darkness. It is the stubborn belief that life can be good again, that joy can return, that love can still rise. Hope does not erase suffering, but it gives you a reason to endure it. Throughout history, those who overcame did so because they refused to give up. They refused to let difficulty define them. They let it refine them. So when you face difficulty, and you will remember this, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to show up, one breath at a time, one step at a time, one choice at a time. There is no formula, no easy fix. But there is a way. The way is honesty. The way is courage. The way is resilience. The way is love. And the way is through. You will not be the same after this, but you can be stronger, wiser, softer, braver, more alive. That is how we handle difficult situations. We don't avoid them. We don't pretend they're easy. We walk through them with open eyes and an open heart. And when we become the kind of people who can weather any storm. Because the storm doesn't last. But you do. That is the truth. That is the power. That is the path.